Hello students. Today we are going to discuss a new topic, resources and development. Class 10 Geography chapter number 1. First we will discuss what is the resource. Everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible and culturally acceptable can be termed as resource. The process of transformation of things available in our environment involves an interdependent relationship between nature, technology, and institutions. Human beings interact with nature through technology and create institutions to accelerate their economic development. Then, classification of resources. These resources can be classified in the following ways. First, on the basis of origin, biotic and abiotic. Second, on the basis of exhaustibility, renewable and non-renewable. Third, on the basis of ownership, individual, community, national and international. Fourth, on the basis of a status of development, potential, developed, stock and reserve. First, on the basis of origin, biotic resource. Biotic resources, these are obtained from biosphere and have life such as human beings, flora and fauna, fisheries, etc., livestock, etc. Then abiotic resources, all those things which are composed of non-living things are called abiotic resources. For example, rocks and metals. Second, on the basis of exhaustibility, renewable resources. The resources which can be renewed or reproduced by physical, chemical, or mechanical processes are known as renewable resources. For example, solar and wind energy, water, forests, and wildlife. Then, non-renewable resources. These occur over a very long geological time. Minerals and fossil fuels are examples of such resources. Then third, on the basis of ownership. First, individual resources. These are also owned privately by individuals. Many farmers own land which is allotted to them by government against the payment of revenue. Then community owned resources. There are resources which are accessible to all members of community. Village, commons, grazing grounds, burial grounds, village ponds, etc. Public parks, picnic spots, then playgrounds in urban areas are the factor accessible to all the people living here. Then national resources. Technically, all the resources belong to the nation. The country has legal powers to acquire even private property for public good. International resources. There are um, international resources which regulate some resources. The oceanic resources beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone EEZ belong to open ocean and no individual country can utilize these without the concurrence of international institutions. Then on the basis of a status of development, potential resources. Resources which are found in a region but have not utilized. For example, the western part of India, particularly Rajasthan and Gujarat, have enormous potential for the development of wind and solar energy. But so far, these have not been developed properly. Then stock materials in the environment which have to potential to satisfy human needs, but human beings do not have the appropriate technology to access these are included among stock. For example, water is a compound of two inflammable gases, hydrogen and oxygen, which can be used as a rich source of energy, but do not have the required technical know-how to use them for this purpose. The reserves are the subset of the stocks which can be put into use with the help of existing technological know-how, but their use has not been started. Development of resources. Resources are vital for human survival as well as the maintaining the quality of life. It was believed that resources are free gifts of nature. As a result, human beings use them indiscriminately, and this has led to the following major problems. First, depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of few individuals. Then, accumulation of resources in few hands. Then, indiscriminate exploitation of resources has led to global ecological crises such as global warming, zone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and land degradation. Resource planning. Resource planning is a complex process which involves first identification and inventory of resources across the regions of the country. This involves surveying, mapping, and quantitative and qualitative estimation and measurements of the resources. Second, involving a planning structure involved with appropriate technology, skill, and institutional setup for implementing resource development plans. Third, matching the resource development plans with overall national development plans. India has made concreted effort to achieving the goals of resource planning right from the first 5-year plans launched after independence. Land degradation. We have shared our land with the past generations and will have to do so with the future generations too. 95% of our basic needs for food, shelter, and clothing are obtained from land. Human activities have not only brought about degradation of land, but have also aggravated the pace of natural force to cause damage to land. The mineral processing like grinding of limestone for cement industry and calcite and soapstone for ceramic industry generate huge quantity of dust in the atmosphere. It retards the process infiltration of water into the soil after it settles down on the land. In recent years, industrial influence as waste have become a major source of land and water pollution in many parts of our country. Then, land conservation. There are many ways to solve the problem of land degradation. Afforestation and proper management of grazing can help to some extent. Planting of center beds of plants, control on overgrazing, stabilization of sand dunes by growing thorny bushes are some of the methods to check land degradation. Proper management of wasteland, control of mining activities, proper discharge and disposal of industrial effluents and wastes after treatment can reduce land and water degradation in industrial and suburban areas. At the end of the discussion, you have some homework to complete. Thank you.